For the past 11 years, I've been quietly preparing for exactly what is happening right now. While everyone is fighting over canned beans and bottled water at Costco, I am buying 13 specific foods that are sitting fully stocked on shelves right now. Most of them cost under $5. Number 9 is available at your local ethnic grocery for less than $3 and will outlast every single freeze-dried meal the big prepper brands are selling for 20 times the price. Well, the problem is that when everyone reads the same prepper blogs and watches the same mainstream survival channels, those are exactly the items that disappear first. Back in March 2020, I watched rice and pasta get cleared out in under 4 hours at 3 different stores in my area. But the items I'm about to show you? Fully stocked the next day, still sitting there a week later, still available today. And if you stick with me through this entire video, you're going to know exactly what to buy while everyone else is panic buying the wrong stuff. Before we dive in, go ahead and subscribe because I drop videos like this every single week that the big prepper channels will never tell you about. Let's get into it. Number 1 is going to sound boring until you understand what it actually does. White rice. And I know what you are thinking, everyone already knows about rice, but here's what nobody talks about. Most people are buying the 10-pound bags from the grocery store and keeping them in their pantry. That rice has a shelf life of about 6 months before it starts degrading. What I am doing is buying white rice in bulk, 25 or 50-pound bags, and storing it in food-grade buckets with oxygen absorbers. Done correctly, white rice will last 30 years, not 30 months, 30 years. I opened a bucket last month that I sealed in 2019, cooked perfectly, tasted exactly like fresh rice. Here's the part that makes this genius. A 25-pound bag of jasmine rice cost me $18 at my local Asian market. That is the same amount most preppers are paying for a single freeze-dried meal kit that serves 4 people one time. 25 pounds of rice will feed a family of 4 for almost 3 weeks if you are rationing smart. And when the next shortage hits, white rice gets bought out fast. But it also gets restocked fast because it is a staple crop with huge production capacity. The boutique prepper foods? Once they sell out, they are gone for months. Look, food costs are rising faster than most families can plan around. I have done the math for you and put together a free emergency pantry blueprint that lists the exact items you need to buy, how much to store, and where to get them cheapest. It can feed your family for 2 weeks and costs less than a single grocery trip. Yet you can grab it free at the link in the description so you can stop worrying about the next supply chain disaster and start actually preparing smart. Number 2 is something I had never even heard of until a guy who worked food distribution for 18 years told me to start buying it immediately. Dried lentils. These things are absolute gold. 1 pound of dried lentils contains more protein than a pound of ground beef, costs about $1.50. And lasts up to 30 years when stored in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers. I keep red lentils, green lentils, and brown lentils because they cook at different rates and have different textures, which matters more than you think when you are eating stored food for weeks. Food monotony is real. It causes decision fatigue and kills morale. Last winter during a power outage that lasted 9 days, I used lentils in 7 different meals and my family had no idea they were eating the same base ingredient. Here's the move. Cook them with rice, cumin, and a little salt. Add them to soups, mash them into patties, and fry them if you have oil. They are dead simple and incredibly versatile. A 10-pound bag costs me $12 and takes up less space than a shoebox. Meanwhile, preppers are spending $200 on buckets of freeze-dried chili that taste like salty cardboard. And here's the kicker. Nobody fights over lentils. I have been to 4 different stores during panic buying events. Lentils are always fully stocked. Number 3 is one of the most calorie-dense foods on the planet, and it is sitting in the baking aisle right now while everyone is ignoring it. Granulated white sugar. Sugar does not expire. It can last literally forever if kept dry. Moisture is the only enemy. I have sugar in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers that I sealed 6 years ago. I opened one last year. 0 clumping, dissolved perfectly, tasted exactly like fresh sugar. Here is why this matters beyond sweetening your coffee. Your body runs on glucose. When you are in a high-stress survival situation, your brain burns through glucose faster than normal. Sugar is the fastest way to stabilize blood sugar, boost morale, and add calories when food is scarce. A 4-pound bag costs $2.50. That is 4,000 calories for less than the cost of a latte. Oh, I keep 20 pounds of white sugar in storage at all times, sealed in food-grade buckets. If you are rationing food and dealing with cold weather, adding sugar to hot water with a little salt creates a rehydration drink that is better than most commercial electrolyte powders. And during shortages, sugar stays on shelves longer than almost anything else because most people do not think of it as a survival food. They are wrong. Number 4 is going to sound strange, but stick with me because this is one of the smartest things I ever started stockpiling. Bouillon cubes. Chicken, beef, vegetable, whatever you can find. These little cubes are pure concentrated flavor and salt, and they turn bland survival food into something your family will actually want to eat. I bought a box of 200 chicken bouillon cubes 3 years ago for $6. I still have half of them left. They are individually wrapped in foil, which means they last indefinitely as long as you keep them dry. Last year, I made rice with nothing but water and a bouillon cube. My kids ate it without complaining. That is the test. If your kids will eat it during a stressful time, it works. 1 cube and 2 cups of boiling water makes broth. Add rice or lentils and you have soup. The sodium content is high, which most people see as a negative, but in a crisis scenario where you are sweating more, working harder, or dealing with diarrhea from stress or bad water, you need that sodium. Your body cannot function without it. I keep 200 cubes in a Mylar bag inside a 5-gallon bucket. Total cost $8. Total peace of mind knowing I can make anything I cook taste good enough that my family stays mentally strong. Number 5 is one that preppers totally overlook because they think it is just for baking. Baking soda. This stuff is insane. It lasts forever, costs about $1 for a pound. Man, has at least 15 different survival uses. I keep 10 pounds of it. You can use it to brush your teeth when toothpaste runs out. You can add it to water to treat acid reflux. You can use it to wash vegetables or neutralize odors in your food storage area. You can add a pinch to beans while they are cooking to reduce gas, which matters a lot when everyone is eating high-fiber survival food in close quarters. And I have also used it to clean wounds in a pinch and to scrub pots when soap ran out. A 1-pound box costs $1 at any grocery store. I buy the big bags at restaurant supply stores, 4 pounds for $3. Seal it in a Mylar bag or just keep it in the original packaging inside a plastic bin. It does not go bad. And when the next crisis hits, nobody is clearing the shelves of baking soda. They are fighting over hand sanitizer and toilet paper. You will walk right past them and grab something that is 10 times more useful. Number 6 is something I learned about from a prepper who lived off-grid for 9 years. Instant coffee. Even if you do not drink coffee every day, you need to stockpile this. Caffeine withdrawal is real and it is brutal. Headaches, fatigue, irritability, brain fog. The last thing you need during a stressful event is your body going through withdrawal on top of everything else. And instant coffee lasts for decades if stored in airtight containers. I have a jar from 2018 that I opened last month. Tasted fine. Not amazing, but fine. A 12-ounce jar costs about $7 and contains enough caffeine to keep one person going for 2 months. I keep 3 jars in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. Total investment $21. Compare that to the cost of not being able to think clearly when you need to make critical decisions. And here's the other thing nobody mentions. Instant coffee is a barter item. If things get bad enough that people are trading, coffee is one of the first things people crave. I'm not saying society is collapsing. I'm saying that having trade goods is smart. A single jar of instant coffee could be worth more than a $20 bill if supply chains freeze up for a month. Number 7 is sitting at your local Asian grocery store right now for under $3, and most preppers have never even seen it. Dried seaweed sheets, nori, kombu, wakame, whatever variety you can find. These things last forever when kept dry. They are packed with iodine and minerals that are almost impossible to get from stored food, and they weigh almost nothing. A 10-ounce bag of roasted seaweed sheets cost me $2.87 at H Mart. That bag contains more iodine than most people get in an entire month. Your thyroid needs iodine to function. Without it, your metabolism crashes, you get brain fog, you feel exhausted. Most preppers are not thinking about micronutrients, they are thinking about calories. Big mistake. I learned this the hard way during a 2-week stretch where I was testing my food storage. By day 9, I felt like garbage even though I was eating enough calories. I added seaweed to my rice every day after that, and the difference was noticeable within 48 hours. Here is what I do. I tear one sheet into small pieces and add it to rice while it is cooking. That is it. You do not even taste it, or you can eat it as a snack. My kids love it. And during shortages, the Asian grocery stores stay stocked longer than the big chain stores because fewer people think to shop there. Number 8 is one of the cheapest sources of fat you can buy, and it is the only thing I know of that will literally never go bad. Coconut oil. If kept in a sealed container, coconut oil lasts indefinitely. I have a jar that I bought in 2017, still perfect, solid at room temperature, melts instantly when heated. Here is why fat matters. Your body needs fat, not wants, needs. Fat is required for hormone production, brain function, and absorption of vitamins A, D, E, and calcium. And if you're eating rice and lentils for 2 weeks straight with no fat, your body starts breaking down. You feel weak, your skin gets dry, your brain slows down. A 16-ounce jar of coconut oil costs about $6 and contains 4,000 calories. That is pure energy. I cook with it. I add it to coffee for extra calories. I use it on my skin when lotion runs out. And because it is a solid at room temperature, it does not leak or spill like other oils. But I keep 4 jars in my pantry at all times, rotate them every couple years even though they would last way longer. During the last shortage, vegetable oil disappeared fast. Coconut oil was fully stocked for weeks because it costs a little more and most people do not cook with it regularly. That is exactly why you want it. Number 9 is the single best value in this entire list, and I have never seen it out of stock even during panic buying. Dried beans, black beans, pinto beans, kidney beans. Chickpeas, navy beans, buy all of them. A 1-pound bag costs between $1 and $2 depending on the variety and contains around 1,100 calories and over 80 grams of protein. Stored in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers, dried beans last 30 years minimum. I opened a bag of black beans last year that I had sealed in 2016, cooked perfectly, tasted great. Here is the part that makes beans better than almost any other protein source. They are cheap, shelf-stable, calorie-dense, and you can grow more from the ones you store. If things got truly bad and you needed to plant food, you can plant beans. Try doing that with a freeze-dried meal. I keep 50 pounds of mixed dried beans in 5-gallon buckets. Total cost about $65. That is 55,000 calories and over 3,000 grams of protein. A single bucket of freeze-dried meals from the big prepper companies costs $300 and contains maybe 20,000 calories. Let's do the math. The only downside to beans is they take time to cook and they need water. Soak them overnight, cook them low and slow. If you have a pressure cooker, even better. Add a bouillon cube, some rice, and you have a complete meal that costs about 30 cents per serving. Number 10 is something I started buying after talking to a woman who survived a month-long power outage during an ice storm in the South, powdered milk, specifically non-fat dry milk. This stuff lasts years if kept cool and dry, and it gives you calcium, vitamin D, and protein that you will not get from rice and beans. A 25-ounce box costs about $9 and makes 8 quarts of milk. I know it does not taste like fresh milk. That is not the point. The point is nutrition and versatility. You can mix it into oatmeal, use it in baking, add it to coffee, or drink it straight if you have to. I keep 3 boxes in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. And I have read reports of people opening powdered milk that was stored correctly after 10 years, and it was still good. I have not tested it that long myself, but I have used milk powder that was 3 years old, and it was fine. Here's the move. Do not try to replace fresh milk with it during normal times. Your family will hate it. But in a survival situation when fresh milk is gone and your kids need calcium, this is what you use. Mix it a little thinner than the package says, and it is more tolerable. And when the next shortage happens, powdered milk stays on shelves longer because it is not something people reach for first. They grab the fresh gallons and the shelf-stable cartons. By the time they think about powdered milk, you already have yours. Number 11 is the most underrated survival food I have ever found, and it costs almost nothing. Oats, steel-cut oats, rolled oats, instant oats, I keep all 3. Oats stored in airtight containers last up to 30 years. A 4-pound container of rolled oats costs about $4 at any grocery store. That is over 6,000 calories. Oats are filling, they are easy to cook, they provide fiber which keeps your digestive system working when you are eating stored food, and you can eat them sweet or savory depending on what you add. I've cooked oats with just water and salt and eaten them like rice. And I have cooked them with a little sugar and cinnamon. I've added them to soups to thicken them. Last winter, I made oat cakes on a griddle using nothing but oats, water, and a pinch of salt. My kids ate them. During a real crisis, boring food is better than no food. I keep 20 pounds of oats in a 5-gallon bucket. I rotate through them by eating oatmeal a couple times a month, but honestly, they would last decades without rotation. And here's the best part. Oats do not spike your blood sugar like white rice or sugar. They give you steady energy for hours. When you are trying to stay mentally sharp and physically active during a stressful event, that matters. Number 12 is one that a lot of preppers laugh at till they actually need it. Salt. Not fancy sea salt or Himalayan pink salt. Plain iodized table salt. Your body cannot survive without sodium. It regulates fluid balance, nerve function, and muscle contraction. And if you're sweating more than normal because you're working harder or it is hot, you're losing salt fast. A 26-ounce container of iodized salt costs about $1. I keep 10 pounds of it. Salt does not expire. It can last 1,000 years if kept dry. I use it to season food, preserve meat, make rehydration drinks, and even clean surfaces when other options run out. Here is something most people do not know. Iodized salt is one of the only common sources of iodine in the average diet. If you are eating stored food with no fresh vegetables or dairy, you are not getting iodine unless your salt is iodized. That is why I specifically buy iodized salt, not kosher or sea salt. I keep it in the original containers inside a plastic bin to keep moisture out. A 10-pound supply costs me less than $5, and during shortages, salt stays available because people do not think of it as a survival priority. It is. Number 13 is the item I get the most questions about, and it is the one thing I will never run out of. Honey. Real honey, not the fake corn syrup stuff. Pure honey does not expire. Archaeologists have found honey in Egyptian tombs that was over 3,000 years old and still edible. Honey is antibacterial, antifungal, and acts as a natural preservative. I keep 2 gallons of raw honey in glass jars. Total cost about $40. I use it to sweeten food, treat sore throats, disinfect minor cuts, and add fast-acting energy when someone is feeling weak. A single tablespoon of honey is about 64 calories of pure glucose. It hits your bloodstream fast. Last year, my daughter got a bad cough during a time when we could not get to the store. I gave her a spoonful of honey mixed with warm water. Cough stopped within an hour. I'm not saying honey is medicine. I'm saying it works when you need it to. And because honey is thick and sticky, it does not spill or leak like other liquids. As long as you keep the lid on tight, it is completely stable. During shortages, honey prices spike because people know it lasts, but it is almost never completely sold out. And if you buy it at ethnic markets or directly from local beekeepers, you can get it cheaper than the grocery store. While everyone else is dropping hundreds of dollars on freeze-dried kits that taste like cardboard and disappear from shelves the second a crisis starts. You now know exactly what to buy. 13 foods that cost less than a tank of gas, last longer than you or I will be alive, and are sitting fully stocked right now. Drop a comment and tell me which one you are stocking up on first. And next week, I'm exposing the 7 prepper items that everyone swears you need but are completely worthless when things actually go bad. You are not going to want to miss that one.